Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be making a 3D printed 501st Clone Trooper helmet. But before we begin, make sure to like, subscribe, and put all the notifications on because it greatly motivates me to make more. And if you want to be featured in the next video, go over and follow my Twitch, link in description. We're going to start off by sanding. I recommend using a Dremel hatch or a mouse sander because it makes it go a lot quicker and is a lot easier to use. Make sure to entertain yourself if you're using a piece of sandpaper in your hand because it's going to take a while. Don't get it super flat and really smooth because we're going to be putting stuff on top of it that needs to stick to it. We also have this hole that we're going to deal with later on in the video, so stay tuned to figure out how to fix those. As you're sanding, we want to make sure that we don't accidentally sand too much into the helmet. But this is what it should look like. A little bit bumpy, but a little bit smooth after all. Now, after we're done, we're going to take it to a sink or something that you can pour water onto it because we want to get all those little fibers off of the helmet that we sanded off. It can be a real pain because it can get stuck in paint and chip really often. So make sure to wash it off really good and let it air dry for about an hour, so an hour and a half. Next up, we're making it a little bit smooth and giving it that real weight and texture that we like. Now, I'm using window caulk, but you can use spackle or Bondo. It's pretty easy to do because you just get a big clump on your finger and then just spread it around. You don't need to make it smooth at all. You just need to get it on there and make sure all the cracks are filled, all the little crevices, because then we're going to be sanding this down again to make it a lot smoother. And by that, I mean a lot smoother. Make sure to get every little piece, because the more you have, the better it is. Now, we want that to dry for about an hour as well, because it's going to take a while for that to dry. Now to fix that hole. Basically, how we're going to fix it is we're going to take a piece of tape, some scissors, a thin Sharpie, hopefully that you have one, and the window caulk that we just used. How we're going to fix it is we're going to take a piece of tape and basically just stick it right on the top of that hole. Basically, after we're done sticking it and making sure it's all on tight and stuff, we are going to make an outline of it with the thin Sharpie and a little bit more like an outer edge that's a little bit bigger than the hole so the tape has an area to stick on. After that, we're going to take the piece of tape off and then cut it out with some scissors. After that's done, we're going to take that little piece of tape and stick it right back on the hole. Now, basically, because it is a little bit bigger than the hole, it'll stick on. And then we're going to take that window caulk right there, or Bondo, or whatever you use to cover it, and we're basically just going to put it right on the edges to make sure it has a firm grip and that we can put other stuff on top of it. Alright, as you can see here, we have that really firm and secure grip. Now, basically, we're going to want to wait until that dries before we put anything else on top of it. Basically, what we're going to want to do is get really thick on your finger and then just plop it down. And then just mold it with your finger to make it look pretty much like the other one. It doesn't matter if it's really smooth because we're going to be sanding it down. And now we got to wait 2 days for it to dry because this stuff is really thick and it'll take a long time.
2 days later.
Alright, now that we're back, basically we're going to start sanding this again. It's going to be not as difficult as the other one because this stuff comes right off. But we're going to want to make it a lot smoother than we did with the actual raw 3D print. So this means getting it a little bit more fine and in those crevices a lot more. The area with the old hole, it's going to be a lot harder because you got to get it a lot more because it's going to be a lot of lines and stuff from when we were placing the caulk down. Alright, it's time for the best part, painting. Now my camera cut out, but basically what I did was I just taped off that little fin on the top and painted the whole top and face blue because that's where the designs are going to be the whole time. Now the rest of it, we're going to worry about in a little bit. But what we're going to do now is we're going to sand away any extra little paint drips or anything like that. Now, as you can see, I added a little bit of weathering to mine, like little paint scratches and stuff. which I do like. You don't have to have that, but if you like dirty and like battle worn, this is for you. Alright, so basically we're going to tape off the design on the front and on the top with some tape, and basically go really thick with some white Rust-Oleum paint. This will give the white glossy finish, and then you can do pretty much whatever you want after that, if you want to add any tally marks or stuff. When it's a little bit sticky, but like 3/4 done drying, you're going to want to pick that baby up, and we're going to start peeling the tape off. Because if you wait till it's completely dry, it might peel some of the new paint off, and you're going to have to restart the whole thing all over again. This is probably one of the most satisfying parts of it, if you can get it all off in one go. But as you can see, I kind of failed on that part, so maybe next time. But after we're done doing that, we're going to want that to dry for the rest of the way. I just used a Sharpie to fill in any of the black lines. And for the visor, I used a Sharpie to pretty much color in a page protector, and then just lathered window caulk in there to hold it in place. Now that's going to take 2 to 3 days to dry because it's really thick and there's not really much oxygen flow inside the helmet. So we're going to put it right back on that little stick that I have and just let that dry. Now you might want to take it inside during the night, but it's up to you. Now for the great reveal.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah.
Thanks for watching, and leave a comment on what helmet I should do next, or what thing I should do next. Thanks again for watching, and like and subscribe.
I've been doing shit my way, or the highway, and in the driveway is a nice range, cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient.